Hey guys, how the hell are you? It is once again New Release Friday. Friday, April 2nd, as a matter of fact. And being that it is the first Friday of the month, that means that it is also Bandcamp Friday. What do I mean by that? So, one of the things that Bandcamp does, and by the way, this is not a sponsored video. One of the things that Bandcamp does is the first Friday of each month in these trying times of COVID that we are living in, they waive their fees so that way if you purchase something from one of these unsigned bands, one of these underground artists or independent record labels that has stuff available on Bandcamp, they waive their fees. And in doing so, that allows for more of the funds that you are now contributing to them to actually go directly to them. So in effect, you are actually supporting even more the artists that enrich your lives just that little bit more and make things just a little bit better for you. So please reach out to some of these bands that you like, some of these independent labels that you like. Buy something today because it is definitely much appreciated, and it is going out there to a good cause, making sure that these artists can still keep creating for you. And I'm going to throw my own hat into the ring for that too. Remember that I do have a Bandcamp link in the description below where you can check out my Nihilistic single, my Voided single, and you can also follow me on Bandcamp too so that when I do post some more stuff for you guys to check out, it'll be right there for you. Also, in the description below, there is a link to my Spotify playlist. Something I've been talking about for about the past month or so now is I did start up a Spotify playlist that I update every single weekend. I am scouring the interwebs looking for those new artists, those new releases that are going to really trip my trigger. And anything that looks remotely interesting, anything that looks like it is going to catch my attention and hold my attention, I put in this list. Now, obviously, sometimes I get burned a little bit. Sometimes there's stuff that doesn't really grab me as much as I thought it was going to. Sometimes I get my mind thoroughly blown. And I post this stuff in this playlist, and I've made this playlist public so that hopefully you guys can sort of find some cool new artists, some cool new records that you guys can check out as well. So, enough of my bullshit. Let's get into it and talk about the new releases that really grabbed a hold of me this week. First of all, shout out to a fellow YouTuber who is creating some awesome kick-ass content, Mr. Mike Levis. I probably mispronounced that last name. I seem to do that a lot. Dude, I'm sorry. But his band, Silent Winter, released their record Empire of Sin, and it was really fucking good. There was a lot of great, awesome classic and power metal stuff that came out this week, but that one was easily the most digestible out of all of them. I really enjoyed it, and I think you guys should check it out as well. In addition to that, something that has been kind of coming up a lot has been these awesome atmospheric blackened metal releases. I just can't get enough of it. And this week was no exception. There was 3 really killer releases that really caught my attention and I think you guys should check out. First of all, Perennial Isolation put out their record Portraits, which was really exceptional all the way through. Fantastic mix job, fantastic music therein. The Stone put out their new record as well, Costerness, which was there again, really fantastic. That thing had an incredible mix job. Everything was so vibrant despite the cover art being like so bleak. It definitely had a vibe to it that you could really easily get into, especially if you already dig the atmospheric black metal stuff. Finally, I gotta give it up to the new Aara record, AARA. This new record, Triad 1, EOS, is so fucking good. I don't know what it is, man. This year, there's just been so many great 2-piece atmospheric black metal bands putting out new releases. and I can't seem to get enough of it, and this was no exception. Definitely worth checking out. Great mix on this one as well, with just the right amount of kick drum oomph. Finally, let's get into some of the weirder stuff, because this was definitely a week that just kind of threw me with a lot of the weird stuff that was on this playlist. So, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, MUR, they came out with a record called Truth that was kind of a little bit blasting, a lot of post metal, a lot of post hardcore, even some post blackened metal stuff on there. But at the same time, with a lot of sort of synthy interplay in there, it was really, really interesting and unique. So a little math rocky, a little aggro, and a little bit kind of ethereal, for lack of a better description. Definitely worth checking out. Also, staying on the sort of weird path, I would definitely recommend a record from a group called Blindfolded and Led Into the Woods. This thing brought to mind that group EOT that was one of my albums of the week about a year ago. Definitely sort of in that same sort of vibe with the post-blackened metal thing, but think about if EOT was started by a bunch of former deathcore musicians, and you kind of get an idea of what's going on here. So it's a little bit more aggro. There's a tendency to go into sort of more breakdown-ish kind of parts, but still kind of the same vibe, definitely capturing a certain atmosphere to it, and I loved it. Now, speaking of vibe, now we have made it to our album of the week. And this week's album of the week was from a group that admittedly up to this point I have never given really a damn about. It's just been one of those things where every time I've heard them I've been like, yeah, it just didn't really grab me at all. They took a 10-year hiatus, came back, put out something that is very, very much grabbing me this time. I am, of course, talking about Genghis Tron and their new record. Dream Weapon is such a great record. So much interesting, sort of spacey vibes coming from this thing. And it's one of those things, too, where, like, before I listened to it, I had heard about it. And I had heard about people's issues with it. That was what grabbed me the most, is like, people were complaining about this thing right from the word go. People will tell you that, oh, they've eschewed much of their heavy rock elements, and now they're just this sort of dreamy, spacey kind of thing, you know, kind of new wavy, new agey kind of stuff, and you know, any sort of metallic or rockish elements that made them unique back in the day are gone. And here I am just kind of turning into Ricky Gervais hosting the Golden Globes going, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, it's so fucking awesome. I don't care what they may have been in a previous lifetime ago. But fuck, this is such a great record, and it's been such a fitting soundtrack to the kind of mood that I've been in this last week. So it's been something that's been kind of helping and being the soundtrack of my existence for the past week. Just something that kind of chills out and relaxes me. So for that, I gotta give it up to any artist that can move me like that. Someone that's putting out some sort of music that affects my mood in that sort of way. I've got to give it up to them. So dudes, I'm sorry, but like, it's one of those things where like the singles are great. Like the title track, Dream Weapon, is awesome. Alone in the Heart of the Light, Ritual Circle. Man, these songs just sort of carry you through a journey that doesn't really... This is going to sound weird. It's like it's taking you on a journey where there is no real destination, and you kind of feel okay with that. It's kind of like when you get into the car and you just need to go for a drive. just to relax, just to calm down. So you go off down the highway a little bit, just kind of letting everything pass by and pass out of your brain so that you can just kind of lose yourself in the drive. That's kind of the vibe you get from listening to this sort of dreamy, synthy, atmospheric music that Genghis Tron has made on this record. And for that, I don't understand how anyone can fault them. I thought it was a fantastic release, and that is why it is my album of the week. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember to please like this video, subscribe to this channel, drop your comment in the comments section. I'm always cool to check stuff out that you guys may suggest to me, to answer questions that you guys have. I'm always cool to interact with you guys. Please remember to take what you do seriously, but do not take yourselves too seriously.